They're the worst.
They're the worst.
Hello and welcome to episode 5 of Reboot or Deboot, a new series by The Worst Critics. As always, I'm Noah Davis.
I'm John Pena.
And today we are talking about Dead Ringers, the quote-unquote best Cronenberg movie and the 5th best Canadian movie of all time, presumably from Canadians. Big picture?
Well, before even big picture, just some caveats. I don't care for psychological thrillers typically. I don't care for horror movies typically. And so maybe I'm very, very biased and have a high standard for those types of movies.
Also forgot to mention that this was written by Cronenberg and Norman Snyder based on the book Twins by Barry something.
Barry Wood.
Well, I wrote Wood, but it's kind of illegible, so.
Classic. But yeah, I think big picture, I understand why some people probably really like this, but this just reads weirdo dude writing about weirdo shit in a not very pretty way and in a not very interesting way. And so I think this is mids at best.
I feel like we're going to ruffle some feathers of, the 40-year-old men that are going to listen to our podcast.
That's fine.
But I just thought it was K and just nothing beyond that or anything, which is weird because, I don't know, dark thrillers, I like those. It can even get gross or whatever. As long as it's good, I'm in. But this one, even just from the get-go, I know this might be delving out of big picture, but I don't know, even just from the get-go, I was kind of unimpressed. The only thing I can say about this big picture positively is that I was wondering what was going to happen next, but did I actually care or not? I don't know. Sort of.
Yeah, I mean, there was a few instances in which it set itself up to be like weird in a interesting way where I was kind of like cringing but ready to see more. And then multiple times I was let down by it just sort of falling flat, which again, maybe I have just seen a better version of these types of movies before and weird shit. And like with the advent of that one YouTube channel that does the serial people, what's that guy?
The serial people?
He does like Tony the Tiger, killing people and being a freaking weirdo. No clue? No clue what I'm talking about?
No. You talking about the shitty Winnie the Pooh shit? Or
yes, like that guy.
Oh. Is that better than this?
Well, no, that's not what I was getting at, if it's better or not. I'm just saying I've seen weird, creepy stuff in a way more interesting and like appealing way. Like at least that's like humorous and it's like very topical, and this just feels creepy and flat.
Yeah, if I'd seen this the year it came out, I think my tone would be a bit different. But since it's 2025, it's kind of, I don't know, kind of milquetoasty in a weird way. Oh, Meat Canyon. That's not, okay.
That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know if it does anything special other than the technicality of it. Technically, I think there's a good movie here, but I didn't care for that. Skill only goes X amount. It doesn't, a whole movie can't be predicated upon, oh, well, it was shot well, and that's nice and all, but yeah, again, erotic thrillers and all this, I think I've just seen better, not interpretations, but better shots at it than this. And
here's my one-liner.
Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah, hit me.
This film could have gone one of two ways. It could have gone full Meat Canyon, full weird, just like the dream sequence, and I would have liked that a lot more. Or it could have gone full like psychological thriller, but more dramatized, like American Psycho, and that would have been better. And instead, we went to some weird hybrid thing, and I would rather just watch those other two things instead of this.
I also want to point out something weird. Um, Howard Shore did the score for this.
The Hobbit guy
The Lord of the
and like
Rings guy
Lord of the
who gave us
Rings.
every single awesome Lord of the Rings song other than the Enya songs. But yeah, literally that guy. And the score was almost, it kind of deflated a lot
Boring.
of the scenes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Where, it almost felt TV movie esque because I don't know, just that string composition, it was just no pizzazz to it. There wasn't any, I didn't get really any excitement from the score, and I'm only talking about this because Howard Shore's one of the best. So it was kind of disappointing when I saw his name at the beginning and then heard the music throughout.
Hella let down.
Yeah, so I don't know, just a point of contention or whatever. All right, you want to get into the small things?
Yep. Positives first.
Yeah, again, I will say the technicality, the shots, how they were able to do the whole twin thing was actually pretty incredible.
Yeah, pretty fucking cool.
I mean, that's better than the fucking Flash that came out 2 years ago and did this exact thing, and it looked way better. I haven't seen Sinners yet, but I assume Sinners took a lot of cues from this movie, pretty much, because
Sinners is excellent, and they did it and fantastically.
well, I again assume they took a lot of cues from this movie, because I never saw the cut or the middle. I could not tell those were two different shots, even though obviously mathematically they had to be. I don't know how they did that, honestly. And again, technically, that is a superb, just a skill set. That, I mean, Cronenberg is a skilled director, period. But again, that's not enough to carry the movie.
Agreed.
And yeah,
My first one would be similar technically speaking, the shots and the twin thing, but that the dream sequence I thought was the best part of the whole movie because it's exactly, I think, what this type of movie's trying to do. Trying to make you cringe and squint and I go, ugh, I don't like that. But also like, wow, that's kind of cool. And what the fuck's going to happen now? Whether they're like Siamese and she eats the connection between them.
yeah.
I thought that's kind of what the whole movie was going to be. So I was sort of waiting for more of that, and it never got as like dark or twisted.
I was kind of bummed they didn't attach themselves to each other. I was kind of waiting for that.
Yeah, we have to go to the negatives, but the whole way this movie ends, yeah.
Well, I don't have a lot of positives, so I think I can knock these out real quick.
Go for it.
Jeremy Irons, awesome, just a great actor.
Did a great job.
I mean, no notes. He's great. He was able to play two very distinct characters, and it's the same fucking guy. I mean, just an awesome actor, killed it. I do think the suspense. I don't know if it's suspense, but they were able to make me think, okay, what the fuck is next? That's good. And I also really like that art exhibit at the end, but we'll talk about that. And that's all my positives.
I had one more positive, but it was also more, cinematographic and directional.
Sure.
The surgery scenes, despite how stupid and over the top they were.
Yeah.
They looked fucking cool. The red scrubs and the mask.
Yeah,
and
the red scrubs were dope. It almost gave it a religious iconography.
It was cool. But again, stupid and ultimately detracted from the movie, but it did look cool.
Maybe that's a Cronenberg special.
Yeah. But those are literally all my positives. So
I will say I did like the script at times. It was very poetic, but then at other times it wasn't. So, and that's probably just the book's fault. That's probably not even the script writers.
I don't think the script was very good.
No, but when they were described, like when the twins talked to each other, I think was awesome. But then when they talked to other people, it just kind of, okay, vanilla, don't really care.
Yeah. I mean, every interaction that either of them had with the lead lady, I was
Oh,
I was
no,
pissed.
no offense to that woman, but whew,
Yeah, that
I
she's my number one negative.
yeah, she's on the negatives for sure. Yeah, we can. You want to get into
Yeah,
the
speaking of,
negatives?
yeah, speaking of,
I want to
go
say
ahead.
the intro just completely. I think
Yep.
that intro was really stupid and didn't really establish much other than yeah, they're weird twins. I mean,
Well, but that's my biggest qualm with it. I was like, oh, weird twins. We're setting it up for them to be like cutting into people and being serial killers or something, and then they just like became doctors that were like semi normal functioning, and I was like, wait, um, these kids would be killing cats and shit. You know what I mean? They would be like
right.
sociopaths.
Right. Yeah, I actually kind of expected more from that. I mean, yeah, because it establishes them as they're talking about sex and they don't understand sex and people underwater wouldn't have to have sex. Doesn't matter. They clearly have this warped view, but that doesn't really come into play until hours into the movie, an hour into the movie. That's when, one of the twins kind of goes crazy. Um, but I don't know. I don't know. The intro didn't do it for me. I don't think it really conveyed what it should have. It just kind of, yes, it established the tone at least, but I think you could cut that intro out, and I still think you could understand the movie. You
Yep.
know, I think that's
I
the
mean,
problem.
even the flash forwards, but before we're at the present time, when they're going through medical school and they
Yeah,
invent the retractor device or whatever, those don't really add to the characters in any way because it's only for like what their first year of medical school when they invent the retractors that
right.
they had already invented when they were children, that they go from like being looked down upon to being recognized, and then their entire careers they're recognized as like geniuses. I mean, it did nothing. You know what I mean? They were already recognized geniuses. All you had to do is show us modern day where they were rich geniuses, and I would have been like, okay, they're rich geniuses, cool. You didn't have to show me
Right.
15 minutes of them
I
doing random med school shit.
I bet you it made a lot more sense in the book, like some sort of uh, not visual because it's a book, but some sort of motif of mentioning that gold retractor because they did bring it back in the movie, but it really didn't matter.
Yeah, it didn't have any real connection to anything. Just because you mentioned it before and bring it back does not make it like a noteworthy thing.
Right. Where I assume in the book, it symbolized something, or you could look at it and oh, that represents this part of the characters. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Not going to read the book, uh, but I assume that, and then the scriptwriter just kind of took it over or brought it over, and I don't know. Again, the intro not my favorite. Um, I will say the whole sexual erotic thriller, whatever, kind of a negative, just generally.
Yeah, I mean, this is like for strange men who think about strange things and then go, well, it's just art, but you're really just a fucking depraved human being. And like, very few women signed off on this in any interesting way.
No, bro, but as we'll see with the reboot, no. Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't say it's played out, but why? Why did this have to be this weird sexual psycho thing? Or, I don't know. Maybe, maybe that's not actually a negative for the movie and
No,
just,
it is. It is. It is.
well, personal
Because they could have
opinion.
leaned into it. They could have been sociopaths. They could have been weird, misogynist, rapist people, but instead they were like semi caring doctors, at least in terms of the intellectual aspects about women's fertility.
Right.
And obviously their insecurities around like not seeing any male patients and whatever the fuck else. And like clearly they were assaulting people, but it was like fairly tame for how twisted and weird and obviously prone to delusions and drug abuse and shit that they end up becoming. So it just felt like random elements of their psychoses were tame for no reason other than arbitrary choice.
And I was kind of bummed when that threesome didn't happen. Because I was
Yeah,
like, okay,
yeah,
this is some weird shit, and then it
yeah,
didn't happen.
yeah. I was expecting the twins to kiss in a more significant way than
Yeah,
CPR. I was expecting them to have some weird throuple situation, and
but then none of
again,
that
it's
occurred.
instead they were just like, "That's my bubby," but we also hold hands.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. It's as though it wanted us to think this was super depraved, but when you really see it, meh, meh.
Yeah, I implore you, if you like this, watch some Meat Canyon, and this will fall down on your list because Meat Canyon's depraved.
Or
This
just,
is
I mean,
fine.
I'm sure there's other depraved movies that, I don't know why this is lauded as such a good movie. I can see people liking it, but saying, oh, top 10 Canadian movies of all time. Really,
No,
Canada?
no, it's really stressful because people really love this movie. Like,
Yeah, I don't get it.
really love it. Couple quick ones.
Yep, hit me.
Medical stuff because it's annoying me.
I knew it.
Pretty much everything medical that they discussed
I
was
was wondering if you knew what you got yourself into.
yeah, was either bad or stupid, and only a couple things were like semi interesting or novel. And I won't go into
Which
the
were?
specifics of which different things, but like one was
You might as
they took
well.
like a lymphatic vessel and turned it into a fallopian tube, and that helped a woman's infertility. And like, sure,
Is
that's
that
kind of
possible?
interesting. No, but I
Oh,
mean, is it possible? Sure, but you'd have to have a very big like lymphatic vessel, and even then, to connect the ovum to the fallopian tube, have it function because it doesn't have cilia to sort of sweep the egg into the uterus. Like, it very technically doesn't make much sense, other than they
damn it.
said words in connected tubes together.
There goes my
And then this,
aspirations.
and then this whole trifurcate uterus and cervix thing.
Yeah.
So there's like a
Mutant.
bicornate uterus where you have like two uterus sacs essentially connected to one cervix and one vagina.
Sure.
But this trifurcate thing like doesn't exist.
Just at all, just
And
never.
no, like that's not a thing.
Even a
And
mutant
then
woman.
yeah, even a mutant woman.
Huh.
And the like three cervices aren't even a thing. So forget three separate sort of uterine sacs connected to three cervices. It's like it just doesn't. It's not a thing. So sure, it's cool that it's some random movie thing, but they almost make it like this is their great glorious discovery, and then they do nothing with it other than date the woman, which is even again adds to the weird element of them.
Yeah, but if they say big medical terms, they make casual audiences think it's real. So, checkmate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The use of the word Siamese twins problematic. Just throwing that
Well,
out there.
90 whatever.
Conjoined.
98, 96, what was 86? When was this
88,
movie?
I think. 88.
88? Yeah, well, I got
Mutant
those
women.
numbers right.
Mutant women.
Yeah, well, to be fair, that was when he was going crazy. But
Right. I think that's him. I understand. I'm just also like, I still don't know that that would be the first way you would describe it as a, again, really intelligent and high functioning, good practicing physician. Like, again, you might say
mutants.
like, you know, like the genitally, I don't even know, like strange or something. Like there would be a weird diluted way of saying it other than mutant women.
Oh, they're a bunch of muties, bro. It's
Yeah,
the
exactly.
slur the X-Men use, or the
Yeah,
X-Men rule use.
yeah.
uh, any other medical things? We might as well
Those were the
just
big ones.
drag
I
this
mean,
out for a
definitely
second.
the prescription drug things, like certain of their combos, like especially
Damn it.
towards the end,
I knew it.
they were just talking about essentially a bunch of different opiates. But if you were truly an opiate addict, and again, maybe this is topical for many people who know people who have done and or do opiates, it's like, yes, there are nuanced differences, I'm sure, from the highs you get between Percocet and Dilaudid and morphine, but like you wouldn't be switching from one to the other if you had access to all of them day round. You would just pick whichever potencies and onsets you want and just do those ones at those times. You know what I mean? So if you liked the 8 hour buzz of your long acting oral med, you would just do that. And if you liked your short acting but super strong buzz from your IV, you would just keep doing the IV. You wouldn't like do 5 different types of opiates.
No, bro, you gotta have this opiate to cut down on this, and then that opiate to give you this, and it did get a little messy. And I just knew it the second they started the medications. I was just like,
Yeah.
well, shit.
Yeah,
This
it
can't
was
be
summer.
medically accurate. Classic movie. Uh, can we talk about the actress now?
Oh yeah, please. Bad.
Yeah, I know she was supposed to be this international actress, but goddamn, guys. I don't think they gave her anything to work with. I don't know if it's the actress's fault or Cronenberg's fault for thinking that was an okay performance. I'm not sure who to blame here because I hate just being like, "Oh, actress sucks." But at the same time, it was
Well,
glaring.
I also don't understand. Like, to me, I get that they were sort of far along in their practice and is kind of middle aged, but she looked older than them,
Did she?
and I thought so. Did
This
she
is the
not to you?
'80s. I don't know. Jeremy Irons looks pretty old.
I know. Well, that's what I was getting at. And they have him like act as his young self too. Like the whole thing to be as like naive as she was and to sort of be as like strung out as she was, but also to be like this big, huge celebrity. She felt like very emotionally immature. And I don't know. It didn't feel like, I mean, and it clearly wasn't a female character written for or by a female.
Yeah,
If
you
that
can
makes any
say
sense.
that again. No, you can definitely say that again because there were some. What was it? Um, it was when they're
Mm-hmm.
having sex. She was saying shit that I just forgot to write down, and I was just like, "Is this how this guy thinks women talk?" Like,
Yeah.
I
I mean, the
don't
whole
know.
thing. Like, again, maybe it was pretty. Why tie her up with fucking tubing and clamps? Like, why did you even bring all your medical supplies to her house in the first place? Like, surely handcuffs would have been easier, or just like tying some rope would have still fetishized it.
Yeah, I like the imagery, but when you think about it for 2 seconds, it kind of falls apart because also, wasn't that the nice brother?
Yes.
The nice brother has that fucking depraved idea to get his medical equipment. I mean, what the fuck?
Oh wait, no, 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 no. My understanding was that that was the smooth talking one, Elliot, disguised as Bev that time.
No, I think that was Bev.
No, because he was like, "Oh, what do you like?" They were having dinner the night before, and he's like, "I don't know that I want to do that." And then he's like, "Well, then I'll just have to do a bunch of depraved stuff to her." And he's like, "Oh, what sorts of depraved stuff?" And then it cuts to her tied up and them banging.
Yeah, but didn't
So,
Bev come home from that and tell or not tell Ellie about it? Isn't the scene after him coming home and Ellie's like, "Well, how was it, bitch?" And he's like, "I don't want to tell you, bitch." Isn't
I
that
don't know
what
if that was
happened?
that time or a different time.
Okay, well, whatever. Honestly, I don't care enough. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't care
Sorry.
enough either.
Anyone who loves this movie, I'm sorry. I can't
Yeah,
care enough.
yeah.
Also there were just random lines like feel like a movie and defiantly gay. Did that?
Oh, I thought it was definitely.
Oh, maybe I
And
just
then the
misheard
subtitle.
it.
No, I think the subtitles put defiantly, but I thought she said definitely. She just has that like
Oh,
sort of
that
Frenchy
accent.
accent. Yeah.
Right. Okay. That was my bad. Yeah, I just I don't know. There's not even much for me to talk about with this movie because it's not as though I absolutely hated everything about it. I could talk about that. And it's not as though I loved it. So it's in this weird middle ground of just being like, well, yeah, that's a movie. That is
Yeah,
a movie.
I got I got two more big negatives.
Okay.
First is towards the end when Elliot again wants his baby bubby back and they're going to synchronize themselves.
Yeah, they gotta be in sync.
I mean, we got to go in more detail, but that's thing one. And then thing two is like the actual end now that they're in sync and Bev's going crazy and gets the metal works back and they go back to the apartment, that whole thing. So that's number two. Thing one, no one would do that.
What, get in sync with
Period.
their bubby?
Yeah, like the in sync part doesn't even make sense. Like the dude had no delusions. He wasn't paranoid. He was like a megalomaniac sociopath. So he wouldn't be thinking, I got to get in the mind of my idiot brother by getting fucked up. He would be like, I'm just going to do that treatment program I said we were going to do, but just like actually lock him up. And he wouldn't sacrifice his career for all of that and everything else. Like it just didn't make sense plot wise.
His
And we didn't
turn was a
establish
little
him.
quick.
Yeah, we didn't establish a motive for him to turn into that because up until that point, yes, they were living together and super close, but they weren't like actually that close from the scenes that we got.
Right. I mean, they were still doing two separate jobs, and one was doing the socialite shit, and one was, actually doing the doctoring and all that. Yeah, yeah, it was. Yeah, you're right.
So, yeah, the whole idea of the synchronization, I'm sure maybe worked better in the book because we got time to establish why that would be his choice. But in the movie, again, they focused on being weird and talking about sex and using useless medical jargon as opposed to like making me care about the characters.
Yeah,
And then the second bit, obviously, so much wrong with it, but
I
like,
think this
okay,
ending could have ended two different ways that could have been better. And I don't know. Maybe I'm just.
like my biggest qualm, it ended fine, like big picture. You know, he goes back to his brother, he can't leave him. I get it. But why did Beverly kill him? And why did he like leave to go to the woman and then be like, no, I got to go back to hold my dead brother that I killed? Like, it just didn't, like, choice wise, make sense to me. Like, why would their drugged up state, why would he kill the one that was trying to help him?
Because they were drugged up and they were in a state.
Okay, I mean, sure. But like it would make more sense that they like picked up a woman off the street and then like were experimenting on her or something. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Like it
Yes.
wouldn't make sense that you would do that to the partner in crime, person you can't be without.
Yeah, I think they could have gone multiple ways. I think, yeah, they could have gone with tried to find another mutant, quote unquote, and tried to experiment on them. I think they could have conjoined each other. I think that would have been cool. I also think that they should have morphed into the same person, And I
Exactly.
think they
No,
almost hinted at it.
that's what I thought when he had the prostitutes and he was like, okay, you can call me Bev and you can call me Elliot.
Yeah,
That was the only reason I could think of for that scene because that scene's completely useless in the movie that they actually made.
right. Yeah. I think it should have ended. I mean, they even have that awesome shot where they're walking through the doorways, or it's painting across the doorways and you can see them both repeat after each other. And I thought that was hinting at them becoming the same person, so that only Bev or only Ellie would just be them both. But instead, that's not at all what happened. So I was kind of bummed.
And is the ending, does he die or is he just holding his brother?
I think he died because he wasn't moving at all. I think he killed himself, but oh, it's up to your interpretation. Uh, I presume he killed himself, and if he didn't, then I don't really like the other implication of, well, he went to prison.
Right. Yeah.
I don't like that either. So, yeah,
I mean, I
yeah,
took it as he died, but every other death sequence in this, whether it was like his respiratory arrest and his brother has to kiss him, or the obviously cutting into of his brother, they just show the death so plainly and like clearly and even a little over the top that why did he just sort of fall over in this pretty undramatically?
I also, speaking of undramatic, I think him killing Ellie was super undramatic. It's just
That's what I mean.
they
It was
got
like
him on the
plain. It was like,
table and then
yep,
dead.
cut into him. And then, okay, I got it. That's another gripe. Like,
What?
so he injected it into his muscle,
Yeah.
the whatever anesthetic. Why
Uh-huh.
wouldn't he just quickly tie a tourniquet and give it to him IV?
No, because
You're trying to
injecting in
numb
the
him up fast.
muscle does things, bro. It makes it super painkiller. What do you know?
Or like, or like, why wouldn't they do something more euphoric, like an opiate, especially when you're as junkied up as they are? isn't going to be a state of like euphoria and bliss. Like, why not give him like some fucking gas, you know? Like, it just, none of it made any sense.
Yeah, and the way they were talking so loopy, but you guys are just on opiates. You know that, right?
You'd be like slurred and slow. You wouldn't be like,
Yeah. In this dream state.
like it was like a stoner movie, except they were shooting heroin. I was like, you guys realize that's not how heroin works.
No, bro, I don't know what's going on, man.
Can we get ice cream and soda, and also it's our birthday, and mommy didn't buy that? Like, what was the regression bit about in that sequence? Like, there's so much that we could talk about, but I actually just don't care.
I just
like,
don't
it's
care.
Bad.
Yeah,
it's just a bad movie. I change it from mid to bad.
I don't think it's bad. I just don't think it's good. I think it's just right in that middle where I'll be happy never to watch this movie again. I'll probably never suggest anyone watch this movie. And
just watch American Psycho.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a better version of it without the weird sex stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, there's some
I'd
weird
rather
sex
watch
stuff.
American
It's not
Psycho
as
for
weird
sure.
sex stuff.
Well, I felt like American Psycho was also trying to say something, whereas this movie isn't.
Yeah, it's just weird. It's just weird. Just a dude who was, instead of writing porn, he wrote this.
Yeah, you know, obviously every movie doesn't have to say something. You know, I mean, I can like a vapid
arts
movie
for art's sake.
Yeah, but this is just kind of, I don't know. Again, maybe it's because we're watching it so late. You know, it just feels a little run of the mill. And you know, that might be fucking blasphemy to fans of the movie, but that's just what it came off as when I watched it. You know. Yeah, I can't say anything good really. Just kind of run of the mill.
You ready for the bow? Wrap it up.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because I'm surprised we even made it this long talking about it.
All right, here's some numbers. It made in today's $2025 $38 million box office on a $35 million budget.
Yikes.
So definitely negative after marketing and all the you know blah 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 blah.
Cronenberg's the only one who got paid.
Yep. Well, maybe Jeremy Irons too.
Well, yeah. Well, okay. The cast that was paid money is the only one. Like no one else, no producer. They did not get paid.
Here's some letterboxes. You ready?
Hit me.
Ellie, 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 Ellie. Which I kind of like.
That's pretty good. No.
And they gave it 3.5 stars.
Out of 5 or 10?
5.
Okay.
So mids, you know, maybe mids plus.
3.5 is good.
What's her name? AO also watched this one. And Bear, AO.
I know.
Itabiri or whatever. Incredible movie about though. Yeah. Incredible movie about every single individual nightmare a woman could have combined into one really cool Jeremy Irons performance. 4 stars. And like maybe, but I also watched it with a woman and she hated it as much as I did. So like
you just don't get it.
Is it really every single nightmare? Like I don't know.
Just a shitty gyno? I just assumed that was just real life.
Yeah, exactly.
That nightmare just probably happens.
All right. And last but not least, they should remake this movie, but it's Mario and Luigi. And sign me up.
I mean, it'd be funny. It'd be funny. Yeah. Are Mario and Luigi twins?
No, but I mean, they could be, right?
Who cares? Be, yeah.
I think Luigi's technically older, maybe.
Is Luigi older? I always thought Mario be older. Let's just talk about the lore for Mario for half an hour.
Yep, I'll be back.
So is that all we have to say about Dead Ringers?
Pretty much for my end.
All right, that'll do it for part. Oh, hit me.
They are twins. Fraternal twins.
Boom. So
Mario was born first, though.
We need Mario Luigi Dead Ringers stat. Dead Ringers. I'm trying to. I don't think there's really a good pun there. Plumber. Okay, no,
Dead
I got
plumbers.
nothing. We'll be back next week with our part 2. Well, I guess it won't be next week for you, but whatever. When we review Dead Ringers 2023 show for Amazon Prime starring Rachel Weisz. And do we know who created it or anything like that? Or is it just kind of some person?
I can find out quickly while you vamp.
I can definitely vamp because I wonder if Cronenberg's even attached to it at all, or he just gets a credit, and that could be a good or a bad thing. Maybe it's a good thing if he's not involved, but at the same time, maybe it loses some sort of pizzazz.
Um, so British female playwright sort of developed it. Bunch of different directors, obviously.
Right.
No
I just meant the
production,
showrunner or
right? No
creator.
production credits to any of the people originally involved. So
Sure.
no clear, tangible reason why it got picked up. But
Oh,
I will say, prediction-wise, I think this has the potential to be a lot better. One, because it's a lot more modern, and two, it's clearly women taking the lead on writing a lot of the twisted shit that happens to women, which hopefully they do a little bit more tastefully and interestingly, as opposed to this, which is just male cringe slop.
yeah, I couldn't tell you. I honestly forgot about the prediction thing because I couldn't tell you how to necessarily make this better, because I don't know if there's much I don't know if there's much gold to mine here.
I mean,
Um,
it'll go from like white knight, red pilled losers, wet dream to woke women shitting on men, which I tend to like the latter more than the former.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean, I would rather have
I know,
that.
call me crazy.
And Rachel Weisz, I've never seen anything that I've been like, oh, she's bad. I mean, she's always fantastic. So
No, she's great. Yeah.
I guess we'll see. I guess it'll hinge upon whether they can actually stretch it out for 6 to 8 hours. Or
Yeah,
stretch
just
it
under
out
6.
efficiently is the big if. Because again, I don't know if this movie should have been 2.5 hours.
No, this movie was long, and
So
we'll see. We'll see what
be,
6 hours can do.
yeah, we'll be back in a sec when we talk to you about the Dead Ringers TV show.
Peace.
And welcome back to part 2 of episode 5 of Reboot or Deboot. This time we are talking about the 2023 miniseries Dead Ringers, created and showran by Alice Birch. Big picture?
Oh, I guess some caveats. I think I did this for the last one, but medical stuff being medical, got some notes
Do we
for
need to
sure.
just do the medical stuff first, get out of the way?
Yeah, probably, but also, I think I can say good in the overall. This is a good show.
Yeah.
All right, now medical stuff.
Okay.
Holy moly, medical stuff. This one was way more egregious with the medical stuff. I think because specifically they hit the opposite end of the spectrum, whereas obviously the first one was dealing with fertility and men being gross, and this one's more about childbirth and sort of the OB part instead of the GYN part of their profession.
Dang, that should have been the motto. Or the tagline.
Yeah. I mean, the childbirth stuff, cool. We can get into that in the specifics.
Amazing effects.
But
Amazing.
every time anyone said anything medical, here actually better.
Specifics.
Let's say you said, "Oh man, I like that song. It has good bass."
Yes.
Sure, that's fine if you just like say that on the fly to also someone who doesn't really care about your opinion.
Right.
But if you're talking to other professionals or people who are like genuinely asking you like a more in-depth question about a topic, that surface level answer would immediately be detected as bullshit.
Right, because this guy just knows the word bass.
Exactly. So in this show, when someone says something like, "Oh, so what are you doing in terms of your research lab?" and you say, "Oh, CRISPR, Cas9," you might as well have just said base. You've said nothing about anything. You've just not said anything but jargon words. And so that basically sets up every time they talk about a medical thing, which again, for the purpose of a TV show, sure, whatever, you're not into it, it's fine. But like, no people in the profession would talk to each other the way these two sisters do when they're talking about work, or the way that any of the business investors ask them questions about their work.
Yeah, but
at
have you
best,
had
it gets
a scary
philosophical.
twin?
Yeah, but at best it gets philosophical, but at no point does it ever get sciencey or medical.
Well, bro, you put the one tissue back into an old lady and no more menopause.
Yeah, no, just
Boom.
please, dude. Please, dude.
Easy as that.
Um,
No one's thought of
big
that ever.
big picture, they didn't need the first 3 episodes. That's the big picture.
Uh,
Didn't
I
need
don't
one of them.
know.
Didn't need them.
I do think it could have been shorter. I don't know if 6 episodes was the right call.
Yeah, 400 minutes of my time when it could have been about 200 minutes. You know, it could have been slightly longer than a movie, and instead it was 3
6
movies.
hours. Yeah. Yeah, I do agree with that. Any other medical things before we get into the actual what we thought?
Nah, not worth it.
Okay, well, I will
Those are
say
the
the
big picture
special
ones.
effects are awesome.
No, the special effects were sick. I mean, that's like one of the best positives. Like, we can jump right into that. I mean, this looked a lot better than the old one. The acting, in my opinion, was a lot better. Other than obviously the twins in the first one were also good, but I mean, Rachel Weisz just fucking snaps her goddamn fingers
Well,
and is a
and
whiz.
Genevieve was so much better than was her name Genevieve in the original?
I can't remember now, but I hope not.
Genevieve was so much better than the original quote unquote Genevieve.
This
It
actually
wasn't
had other
distracting.
characters.
Yeah.
Yeah, this had other characters. These people had points and values and motivations
Yep,
and
Greta was
depth.
cool. I
Yeah,
really enjoyed
like
Greta's like weird, you're kind of wondering what the fuck is she actually doing? And then, of course, the last episode tells you.
yeah.
Uh, but yeah, Rachel Weisz kills it, of course. Not a surprise. I'm not sure I've ever seen the movie where it's, oh, Rachel Weisz sucked. I don't know if anyone has ever said that about any movie of hers or show, I guess. Um, I will also, I'm just going to come back to a positive for this one and the original. How did they shoot this shit?
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of a mind fuck the whole time. You're seeing them do like weird shit where they're clearly both their faces are on screen, like talking to each other. I don't know.
I mean, the audio just, that must be
Right.
so much work. So
Yeah,
much
technically
struggle.
super cool.
And when they're smacking each other's hands, I don't even.
Oh yeah, in the
I
elevator.
literally
Yeah, that's a good scene.
I literally
That's a
don't
good
even
scene.
know how that was. That just a show off that we can do that. Okay, you see this? You see this shit? Yeah, it's actually incredible. And technically speaking, this show is great. But as a show itself, and not just skill, it's good. It's definitely
Yeah,
good. I wouldn't say it's
it's good.
bad really in any way. It felt more
Another.
realistic.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I was gonna
More
say it
realistic
just
in what
felt a
way?
lot more in the real world than the original movie. The original movie almost had this weird surrealism, whereas this it was kind of like that, but you kind of felt, other than I guess the medical jargon and bullshit, other than that, it felt grounded.
I will
Whereas,
say I agree. It feels a little more grounded, but there are also times where you're like, no one would behave this way.
well, sure, but that's just
So, well, like even the whole last episode, like I get tonally, it's cool that the sister keeps calling and it's like bugging her out, but
the vibration effect, that was just stressful. That was a good.
yeah, no, it's a great technique. But I'm just saying, if you were actively trying to avoid someone in 2020, whatever the
Right,
show
you
came
just
out, 3,
silence the
4,
buzz.
well, like you
Yeah.
just silence it. You know what I mean? You would block that person. Like it's a click of a button. It's not like
Yeah,
you know,
but that means she
yeah, it
didn't
adds some depth
really
to
want
her.
to
Exactly.
silence her sister, man.
Of course. The
Uh,
vibration feature, wink, wink.
Yep. I loved how uncomfortable the show made you. I think that was really good. Whereas the movie itself, I mean, there were 1 or 2 times, and it was just because it's
Right.
getting a little assaulty.
Right. Yep, exactly.
Whereas this, I was just uncomfortable a lot of the time.
Yeah,
on
every
purpose.
episode had major scenes where I was cringing and hated it, but couldn't stop watching.
Right, because I mean that's good, honestly. If
Like
if
that
I'm
investment
uncomfortable on
dinner,
purpose.
that investment dinner when they first meet, like the Parker
Yep.
people and the Korean dude and the whole weird cast of zany, eccentric people.
Yeah, the rich people. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that felt very much like the same vibes you get in like The Menu.
Yeah, the menu.
or-
Exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking of.
Mm-hmm. You're just like, ooh, this is I don't like this.
Yeah. And you know what I'll say? The original is quoted as an erotic thriller, but I never really got that. there were a couple scenes that were erotic, whereas this show, yeah, it is an erotic thriller.
Yeah. Yeah, this one has a way more very overt, like, sexual tension and themes than the other.
Yeah,
The other one
whereas
is, again, assaulty, if we're going to use that as our adjective. if
think
you
it's a good
if you think
one.
assaulty is sexual, then yep, that maybe is a sexual movie to you. But
yeah,
this one's a lot more consensual in its
I was gonna say
sexual
that might be a
tone.
problem for whoever's thinking that. I'll also say the show looks great. It's kind of hard to even list off my positives and negatives just because I don't want to go into each episode,
No, we shouldn't.
but it is kind of weird because it's almost generalizing every episode. But whatever. I will say it looks awesome. I loved a lot of the transitions, some of the cinematography and the shots, and that one shot where they just showed Central Park in New York. I don't know why that looked so good, but goddamn if it didn't. You could tell there was a deliberate, almost like the Walter Mitty reboot,
Mm-hmm.
where there's a
Mhm.
very deliberate, okay, I want this shot to lead into this shot. It seems they planned it out for sure, and there's not, oh yeah, let's just get some B-roll. Where it seems, I doubt that's how that actually happens, but a lot of movies, it feels
Right,
like,
feel
yeah,
that way. Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what your intention was. It matters about how it feels, and yeah.
right. And this show was able to not feel like that. Every shot seemed intentional. I will say, some of the spacing or the framing might not have been, let's say, on the level that Day of the Jackal was. I mean, a lot of movies aren't, or a lot of shows aren't that way, but it still felt with purpose. I think that's important for just a feel of a show or a movie. Also the color palette, I like that. Everything was kind of a blue, but kind of gray,
And then
without
sometimes red.
without taking away from the red. And the red always stood out. Literally every scene, red lipstick, red dress, red this, red that. You could always tell.
Red scrubs.
Yeah, exactly. You could always see the red or even the blood. I mean, they made a point of red. I don't know. I mean, the more I talk about it, the better it's actually getting in a weird way. It just, maybe I was
Yeah,
looking for more plot beats, some more punches.
exactly. I think that's where this falls flat, and that's where most of my negatives lie, is that this does all the tonal and interesting sort of like social commentary and weird like character exploration that the first one tried to do. This one does that like fucking miles better.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Way
Streets
better.
ahead. The problem is this equally has a contrived ass plot, and though they gave it 4 extra hours of time to, finish some of those threads, they just like amped up the weirdness and dialed back actual plot. And then they
Yeah.
kept introducing a character. Every episode had a new character. I was like, we don't need this many characters. You're already doing a couple characters right. You don't got to keep bringing new ones in.
I also, to add to that character thing, I think it was a mistake to leave that writer guy for one episode. I think that was a huge mistake. I think the plot should have maybe been based around that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's why episodes 4, 5, and 6 made the most sense. Because 4 without the guy would have been fine, and over half the episodes with the guy would have been fine, 5 and 6.
Yeah.
But 1, 2, and 3 basically served to just establish our characters, but that's far too long to establish the characters.
Yeah, no, it takes a while for sure. They did get
so-
rid of the intro we hated though, so
Yes, that's true. That is a positive. My other big positive, since you mentioned several of the actors, but not this guy, but Michael Chernus, he's not been in a fucking bad thing ever. He's sick. That's the live assistant.
yeah,
Orange is the New Black, Severance.
he seems good. It's just, I don't know, maybe is he typecast? I mean, his characters aren't exactly the same. But maybe
I think
he's just
usually
got
he
such
plays a little hippier, and this one he plays a little bit more like weirdo cuck.
Yeah. Well, the cuck, I don't
But
know.
he's still, it's a little bit, right?
I don't know.
She like forces him to jack off and that whole thing.
If anything, he's cucking his wife.
Yeah, it's maybe more sub than cuck, but
Yeah. Come on, get it right.
sorry.
But yeah, maybe
Um,
it's just because his face is so distinct that I honestly kept seeing his character from Severance. Just I couldn't help it. I couldn't help it.
that's fair. Any other big picture positives?
Yeah. Well, big picture positives. I mean, I think we've
I mean,
already
or
strayed away from
specifics.
that.
You can give hyper specifics. I don't care.
I
Whichever.
really enjoyed that dream sequence. I think it was episode 5, talking about the birth of gynecology or whatever.
Oh yeah. Like she's like hallucinating dream state thing, wandering
Yeah.
around, and yeah.
Yeah, I
Um,
really enjoyed that. That was awesome.
again, I don't know if you had any expectation when they were doing the dinner scene and the guys describing it. Like they obviously it set that story up to feel uncomfortable, and she was like freaking out while she's cutting into the bird and everything.
Right.
But did you have any idea that that's where that was going to go?
I mean, no. Was I
'Cause-
supposed to?
No, but again, as someone who knows that kind of thing, and like that's how most of medicine is set up, unfortunately, because this country's fucking cooked.
Well, I mean, it's not just
I
us,
mean,
right?
it is cooked and it was cooked, but yes, it was largely us.
Oh, well, shit.
That yeah, I did know where that was going, but I thought they were just going to leave it sort of settle in the background. And then it was cool that they actually sort of paid it off and obviously gave that a little bit more of a lens for the broader public.
Yeah.
So that was cool. That's some medical stuff they got right.
Episode 5, I think, was maybe the best episode, arguably. Maybe not even arguably. With the rioting and the family, the writer and the family, and being uncomfortable there, and knowing kind of everyone's view of them, even at the end where it gave us what's her name, the Parker lady, the Sackler lady, should we say?
Sackler, yeah.
The Sackler lady. It even gave us her kind of her power over everything. I think with the established characters, it just solidified everyone's place in the story. And I don't know, episode 5 was great, but other than that, all the other episodes are okay to good. Any
I agree with that.
any specific episode scenes, or 'cause it's hard to kind of review a show, like I said.
I mean, I don't know. Most of my specifics, I think, are end up being negatives, but you already touched on a couple of them. Obviously, the elevator scene where the slapping is crazy.
Crazy.
Again, episode 5 being the best episode, which I sort of alluded to when I said they only needed 4, 5, and 6 because 1, 2, and 3 basically end up
True.
dragging in relation to the other 3.
Yep, you did.
And then just like an honorable mention since we're here and we talked about episode 5. The teleplay writer for that episode, I'm gonna maybe mispronounce, but Susan Soon Hay Stanton.
Okay.
She was a writer producer for Succession.
Nice.
She won an Emmy for that, a Peabody for that, and then she also wrote for like Modern Love, which is that Amazon show based on the New York Times thing.
Right, the one I don't watch. Right.
Yeah, that I like.
Yeah.
So lo and behold, of course, I like the thing that this lady touches
Hey, she
because
can
I
write,
like those
baby.
things she does.
She can write.
So yeah, pretty much all the specific ones I had written down.
I
Because
don't.
most of mine were big picture.
Yeah, I don't have a ton of negatives.
Me neither. That's why I think this is good. It pains me to say it's good because I don't like this show. Let me be clear.
Well,
I don't think this show is anything I like.
Yeah.
But I don't like things in this tone. I don't like things that make me feel uncomfortable. I don't like overly sexual TV for some reason.
Well,
and so-
I don't either, but at least this it tonally fits, you know.
Right. No, exactly. Like there's a purpose, and I can understand it, and I can qualify it sort of objectively as being good, but it doesn't mean I like it.
Yeah, but when she's writing the dude who played Harley Race in the Iron Claw, when she's writing him in the diner,
Yeah.
yeah, I was just kind of rolling my eyes, just okay, great.
Yeah. Thank you
we
for
have to
giving us
do
another one
this?
of these scenes. Yeah.
Can we just have her, you know, straddle and then boom, let's call it? Why do
I'm
we
just happy-
need the whole thing?
I'm just happy we hung dong in the office scene.
Was that actual dong?
I couldn't tell. It looked like a prop, didn't
It
it?
looked like a prop dong. I think it was a prop dong.
I was like, I don't know, man. That's kind of crazy to get like that on camera.
Well, yeah, but if you cut out the first 3 episodes, you know, you kind of cut out. I think you could maybe condense the first 3 episodes. Maybe
Right.
not cutting
It
them
could have been
all
a
out.
4-episode show or something.
Yeah, I think that
1, 2,
might be
3
more
could have been
realistic.
1, and then 4, 5, 6 could have been 2, 3, 4. Other big ones. Frick. Where was I going with it?
I don't know. Where were you going with it?
I don't
Figure it out.
remember.
Figure it
Nope.
out. Okay. I will say my last positive. They gave us the ending we wanted.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. This ending. Oh yeah.
I
How
mean,
could I
let's just
leave that
talk
off?
about the ending before we get to
Yeah.
the negative.
Yeah. I mean, it. So not only did they set the twins up to actually each have their own personality and not do some weird morph into each other bullshit.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Or I gotta get high and match your high.
We gotta
babe.
match up, or
And then
in sync. We gotta get in sync.
Right. And then still not like, do the weird gay thing that they were kind of alluding to. Like, even a kiss at the end would have been okay, but just the CPR kind of pissed me off. Anyway, we're not talking about the first movie.
We already did.
The way that they chose to end this, by setting each one of them up, like one is a sociopath and one is a schizophrenic, really makes the ending pay off. I mean, just chef's kiss. I think the one caveat is that the sociopath who set up the fucking, I always mess up their names, but Elliot, I think, who sets up the test tube babies, for lack of a better word, because she makes fucking BAFTA tanks for them to grow in.
I mean, they definitely were test tube babies. I think that.
I know, but that's not the
word.
PC term for IVF. No.
I mean, okay.
But yeah, I know they were actually just grown inside of a lab cage. So yes, test tube, for lack of a better phrase.
BAFTA tank.
The fact that every episode they choose to show her sort of creating the embryos, to fertilizing them, to growing them in the weird cage, that for us to end without knowing exactly what happens to that little compartment is kind of strange. Only because they set it up so heavily. Like, it would be fine if that was like a little side project she was doing, but that was sort of like the character's whole main pull, is that she like really wanted to be her sister. She's made her own twins but didn't put them inside her, blah blah blah. And then for her to become the twin, pays that off big. But then to leave the babies and then she just takes the real babies, it's like, well, those were real babies. That's the whole moral ethical quandary of growing babies in the first place.
Right.
So
I honestly might add that maybe instead of, birthing the BAFTA tank embryos or whatever, it's kind of a symbolism of trading places, where the new twins, the twins she got out of her sister's insides or whatever, maybe that's a replacement, and she just kind of, I don't know, better word, terminated, because she had to hide her sister's body somehow, right?
Right, you would think, but what we saw on screen was she took the babies, ran out, asked for help.
Right, but I'm just assuming maybe it was implied that maybe she got rid of them along with her sister's body. So it's more of a letting go kind. Maybe not letting go, but I'm trying to think of a word. Almost a transition where, okay, she did grow these two, and now she has two babies. Just the math of it, I think, balances out. So I get that they probably should have shown what happened to the sister's body and the two babies, but
Yeah, it already went on for 6 hours. So
Yeah.
I get it. You can't tie up every bow.
Yeah.
You can't type every bow, but it just seemed like a major plot point. I mean, half of this show is exploring weird ethical and moral things about women and childbirth and how it's all natural, and being pregnant isn't a disease, and all these threads that they sort of keep going, and the whole reason why they want to establish the birthing center and pursue this research. So for one of the big pillars in my mind of what their whole purpose was and what they set out to do for their careers, it just seemed like a strange thing to not at least allude to an ending of.
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
Because also, like, those babies are older.
Sure.
Well, like, she wasn't
around
pregnant.
the same time, right?
No, I didn't think she was pregnant. Remember, she had just had her miscarriage. When you find out that she's grown 15-day-old embryos.
I will say the timeline thing is a little
Yeah, it's a little jarring. And no, like, oh, hey, I can't believe it's Christmas now.
Yeah,
You know,
her
like
her and
something to set you
Genevieve
on time.
deciding to have a baby was really quick, or it wasn't really quick. You know,
No, it's really quick.
I literally couldn't tell if it was really quick or not because they never gave me any sort of point of reference. Which whatever. But yeah, like you said about the ending, I mean, it perfectly set up why that would actually make sense. Maybe not in the real world, but in this real world, it would make sense for one to take over and one to be mysteriously gone. And they even alluded to it in, I think it was episode 5, where they said the rich man's baby mama, where she didn't die, she just left.
Right, but it's the same as dying.
Exactly. So I think it alluded to that ending even better. I mean, they clearly had this ending in mind from the get-go, and you can tell. It seems like they left little clues for, to pretty much want that. I mean, that's what we want from the fucking original. we did not get that, so I'm glad they finally paid it off. But
Yeah, this is just so
yep.
much better.
Yeah, way better. Holy crap, it's way better. But
Yeah.
negatives?
Yeah. Let's start with some of the major ones. First things first. Why did we have to meet their parents?
I don't know. Also, that actor was super familiar, and I could not place him the entire time. But I'm not gonna take the time to look it up. So
The dad?
yeah, I forgot their dad's
Claudius,
name.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
No, what was the dad's name?
Kevin McNally.
Kevin McNally. Yeah, he was
Kingdom
super
Hearts
familiar.
3, Valkyrie, Conspiracy,
Maybe it was Pirates of the Caribbean.
Supernatural.
Oh, he's the first mate in Pirates of the Caribbean. Oh shit!
That's what I just said
I
that.
know, but I had to click it and see what character he played.
He was a voice actor in Assassin's Creed 3.
He was playing the fake Shmee. Okay, that makes all the sense. But yeah, why did we have to meet them? I don't know. Because
it's useless, useless.
Especially when we got the mom's kind of backstory of how she kind of hated being a mother and didn't want them and they didn't want her, quote unquote, and that postpartum depression, or the technical term for that. Yeah, it was weird because that didn't really set anything up other than the twin not wanting to be a mother, which is fine. It makes sense for the ending, but
Right, but
it's
it's
a
a big
little
whole episode to do that.
yeah, it's a little extreme to commit so much time to that for something that could have been pretty well established in a few minutes. Even a phone call, honestly, could have established that. And why was her dad a character, or why was their dad a character, really?
That's what I'm saying. Like, nothing about their parents actually made sense because, sure, the mom is maybe a little crazy, didn't want them, calls her or tells her that she's going to be a bad mom. But nothing about that inherently tells you why one is a fucking sociopath, one's schizophrenic, why she would be a bad mother. Like, you just sort of get a brooding couple of moments with old people on screen. Like,
Also, for as much as they seem to not like their daughters, why didn't we get any sort of hint at that? They didn't mention, oh, in childhood, these two were fucking crazy. Just nothing about that. Just kind of, oh, if you get one of them, you get both.
why are they British in this one?
Maybe Rachel Weisz didn't want to do an American accent, so they said, fuck it. We're not doing an American accent. I mean,
See, I feel like they
have no
hired a
idea.
British person specifically to be British, but I just can't figure out, like, other than paying homage, why they need to be British.
I have absolutely no idea. I don't really care because, I mean, you could easily explain that, but yeah, I couldn't answer you. I don't know if there was any thematic or any reason for such a thing. I mean, it seems like almost a waste of time since they had the flashback episodes with the parents. They had to make sure they had to, get the British car, get the British, neighborhood for those scenes, and just that had to be a lot of extra work for what? Nothing? For nothing important. So yeah, I don't know why they're British, honestly. Any other negatives?
I got a couple more, but how about you bounce one off you?
I really don't have a ton that are actually, specific. I just have kind of general ones. Like, I was honestly kind of disappointed that wasn't as disturbing, I guess, as the first movie with the whole like the tools and the clamps and stuff. I get, modern day probably would have been harder to pull that off, but her fall from grace just kind of, it wasn't as crazy. Yeah, she pushed the
Right.
old lady off. I get that, but I mean,
Well, no, we can't glaze over that. That's definitely one of my negatives.
okay, but I'm just saying it wasn't as crazy as the original. I think that's maybe the one thing the original did better, the singular thing. Um, and I'll
No.
also say just a very small thing that bugged me the entire time. They said the phrase from the original where, oh, you didn't know the Mantles were twins? They're the most well known twins in Manhattan, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then how did one of them go to an anonymous grieving group?
Because it's anonymous. She probably doesn't say her name.
Yeah, she did. Remember at the end when she walked up at the park and she's like, "Oh, Ellie," or whichever one it was, or she says Beverly. You don't come to the support group anymore, or whatever. No one thought to look up Beverly, the gynecologist. I don't know. I don't know. It's weird to be the most well known twins in Manhattan, and then no one has any idea who you are, and no one Googles anything in this grieving support group. But a very small thing. I guess you could brush past it, but at the same time, how?
Pretty easily, apparently. The couple of things you brought up there.
Mhm.
First, I think actually the dead lady, right, killing of the unhoused person is kind of a crazy move. Crazier than just building weird sex tools, because that's what a serial killer rapist does, which was basically who those men were in the
Yeah.
first movie.
Yeah. Not as
Except they
fun.
never actually killed or raped anyone.
That's.
In this
I
one,
guess that's true.
this bitch
Yeah.
literally fucking murks a person publicly, and no consequences for their action.
Yeah, they didn't even get back to it, which was kind of weird. They had Greta, their maid person, living lover lady. They had Greta find out about it, and then nothing.
Exactly. It was
Greta
like no
didn't
one got
mention it.
warned. Yeah, no one had to hire a lawyer. No one was doing some weird cover-up thing that was just like Sackler person's like, well, we've dealt with, worthless bodies before. That's not that big of a deal. It's the whole thing in combination. And then just sort of skirt over the fact that they're talking to a murderer.
Right.
Like
Well,
no one gets over it that quickly.
they're talking to the murderer's sister.
Well, either way. So that was kind of a negative and positive question mark.
It felt like a loose end.
It did. It did. Other huge negative is basically the whole of episode 2. Not because it wasn't tonally right and unsettling, but just so many things were like, and again, I know normal people, blah, blah, blah.
They're rich.
Maybe I hold doctors to a weird thing, but like,
maybe you do.
At that point in time,
Yes.
Beverly was semi-normally functioning.
Correct. She just liked
Elliot
drugs.
was still a little crazy and druggy, but Beverly was normal.
Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah.
And Beverly clearly didn't want the center, but Elliot was like, we got to, bruh. Like, these guys got money, and we can do the thing that we've been doing our whole lives, but better. And then she gets fucking kidnapped as a part of a weird rich people game.
Uh-huh.
You would just nope out and not like go back apologetically, sheepishly like a little dog.
She didn't apologetically. She told him off. She said, "You're a fuckface. You're a rich fuckface.
Yes,
You're not
course.
humans."
And then they go to bed and they wake up and they're like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I do want this birthing center." Like it's 5 hours of buyer's remorse.
True, but it's a lot of money. You see?
Shut up! No way.
I don't think you get it. It's a lot of money.
She's not a sociopath. Her sister is.
Yeah, but she knows how much her sister wants, bro. They all do everything for each other. I don't think you get this.
No, I'm just saying by episode 2, they hadn't established that in them yet.
But that is establishing it in them.
I know, but don't you just think, ugh, it's like this
I
person wouldn't have
honestly
done
did
that
not
yet?
see an issue with it.
Ugh,
I
I don't
believe
know.
you
I
did.
did.
I believe you did. But personally, it's a lot of money. 20,
Yeah.
30 mil or whatever. I mean,
Yeah, episode 2 just really rubbed me the wrong way.
if someone said, "Hey, you have to apologize for a $30 million investment," I'd say, "Well, shit, okay." Like, oh, and it's the $30 million investment that your twin or your brother or sister has wanted your entire lives. Kind of hard. I don't know. Hard to say no just to apologize.
And then you mentioned this actually, I think is one of your positives.
Yeah. What?
I think Greta is a better character in this one.
Uh-huh.
I like that we establish all these weird things she's doing, and you're like, is she like gathering evidence against them? Is she about to
Right.
like fucking take them down? Like, what is happening?
Uh-huh.
Why did she need that side story though? Like, basically every character in this show has some weird traumatic mom and or birthing and or childbirth issue.
Yeah.
And like I get that's sort of like the whole thing of the show, but like is it just to say that this is like a universal experience, or was it just we needed one more of these because we couldn't have possibly gone one character without like weird issues?
I want to say the latter. I want to say, I mean, would the show have been that much worse without Greta? No. But I just think it added just a weird layer to it all, you know? Like you said, is it just, oh, another layer of weirdness, another character that's fucking weird and unhinged? I mean, I do actually think that's the answer that they need to explain. They probably saw it as Greta does so much stuff for them, and random parts in the script that are, oh, she put my clothes in body bags, that whole joke thing, whatever that was. Um, that she's such a pivotal role to it that they had to explain why she even cares enough to do this for two psychopaths, or maybe not
But
technically
like
psychopaths, but
it doesn't exactly tell you why she's also like co-obsessed with the Mantle twins. Is it just because they're saving people like her mom? Like, was that the point?
I think so. I mean, I don't think it really spelled it out 100%, but yeah, I think so.
She had like many artworks depicting their faces, so I'm just like, it clearly was. They were a clear part of her gallery or whatever exposition
And it even helps. I mean,
art
it
show.
maybe it's just to show relationships to them versus from them, where people care about them, but then they walk past her art gallery.
Right. Fair.
So they don't give a fuck about her actually, but she still poured in all that time and effort into them. So I don't know. Maybe it's just to establish that they are kind of assholes. Like, uh, I don't know exactly. That's what I took from it because the writer, he looks at it and goes, "Oh, I got to go talk to her," you know.
Right.
Whereas the twins
Exactly.
walk by and just, well, meh. Or
Well,
one of
see,
the twins walks by.
at first when I was watching it, I kind of thought, did they just rewrite this to like again pay homage to like the art gallery bit of the movie without like as weirdness with the tools and instruments
I
thing?
think so.
But then I turned that into when I was watching it. Oh, actually, did they just rewrite it? Because she was actually going to be the one that set them up, but then a different writer was like, actually, I think this Silas writer guy is going to be better, and so
Little
we
bit
can
of this,
just
little bit
turn
of
this
that.
into a weird art thing. Because now, again, thinking on it as opposed to when I was watching it, this does make sense, and I kind of see what you're saying. So it's less of a negative, but initially I was kind of like, this just feels like weird, rewritey, cover-up
I
nonsense.
mean, I still think it's weird rewritey for sure. How you make that stretch from the art person being their maid. Kind of weird in itself, but I think it still served its purpose, whatever that purpose actually was. I'm not sure, but it served the purpose from me as the audience. Um, I don't know. I think it fit. I think is the real question: does it fit or not? It'd be one thing if it just veered off completely, turn. But I think it fits within the parameters of this tone and the story they were trying to accomplish. I will say it's weird that there was never any, not comeuppance, but there was never resolution between Greta and the twins. I think that was weird. Because I think the art gallery is literally the last time we see Greta, right?
That's fair. Yeah. I
So,
think so.
it's just weird that she didn't say anything. She didn't leave a note that said, "Screw you guys, I'm going home." She didn't do anything like that. She just kind of she gone. I don't know. It's kind of weird. Maybe it was more implication that the sister's crazy, so Greta's gone. I really don't know, and that's why that's my only dislike about Greta's whole arc or narrative.
Yeah,
But
as it she's just sort of tossed to the side at the end.
yeah, which again makes sense, but I need some resolution, just a hint, just a hint, not just she met her dad, and it's okay, I get that, sure, but she didn't even get her, she didn't do nothing. She didn't talk to the writer guy and spill the beans. Did nothing, I don't know. That was my only problem with it. Any other negatives?
Not really. No.
So I think we can. I might, assume this, but I think we can firmly say this is a reboot and not a deboot.
Correct. Agreed.
This is
Co-signed.
better than the original in almost every single way, except for one tiny thing, and that's just because it's not as psychologically weird. I mean, it's still weird, just not as psychologically weird, but still better, still way better.
Yeah.
I would rather watch the show again than
Then watch that movie once. Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So, I mean, you have any notes or anything? I mean, I kind of think that does it.
Big picture things. Tried to find a cost estimate because we like to throw those numbers
Right,
around.
fair.
Amazon did not publicly have any articles about the purchasing cost.
Well, they
this is just
clearly produced it. They didn't purchase it.
Well, I just meant sometimes you have to buy the rights for the old movie and yada yada
okay.
yada. How are you gonna rebrand it? You have to get people to co-sign it.
I was gonna say because they did that clever thing where Geneviève's fake show was on Amazon Prime. I think that's hilarious.
Right.
I like that a
lot. The estimated cost is somewhere between 3 and 10 mil per episode, so it's somewhere again 30 to 60 million cost. And of course, it's a TV show on Amazon, so who knows how they calculate if it made money back, but.
You want a small note that I literally just thought of? You would have been hilarious.
What's that?
If when they're watching Genevieve's show, if they paused it and it did the Amazon X-ray.
Yeah.
And it showed Genevieve, whatever, playing this character, but I mean, super small thing.
Right.
Small
thing.
So no budget?
No, I mean, there's no way to know. They don't publicly announce it for things that they in-house produce,
Oh, you know what's also weird? It says it's based on the movie and the book, whereas almost everything we've watched has been either or and never both.
Well, I was reading something about it when we were watching, I think, the first movie of this, where I think canonically, when people remake movies based on something else, the thing to do is to say that it's from the thing you're adapting, because that has the initial rights.
Right.
So if you say both, that's probably the proper way to do it, because now you're actually respecting both sets of artists. But I think the legal thing is you always have to say this is based on the book or whatever the first source material was.
Well, because Jackal, I remember Jackal was based on the movie, whereas Walter Mitty was based on the short story. So it's weird. It's just weird how that's decided, or maybe it's just a rights issue. I'm not sure.
No, I think that's what I'm saying. I think it is a rights issue.
Yeah, it sucks because, it's cool to say, hey, these people did it first. Even though we might not like the original, it's still nice that they did that.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to give me 3 hours of homage, you better fucking put it in the credits.
Do you want to throw in a random Letterboxd review before we call it?
I sure am ready. This is the most popular one with 940 likes. It just says Rachel Twice.
Ayo, pun.
And then my beloved Rachel Weisz just doing what she does best, serving gay cunt and being unhinged.
Well, only one of them served gay cunt, but okay.
Yeah. And then let's see. Hearing Rachel Weisz say the word cunt is the auditory equivalent of biting into a piece of ultrafine dark chocolate. When it slips from her rosy lips so languidly yet demanding of attention, I get a thrill. Cunt.
Was that written by David Cronenberg?
No, Angelica Bastien.
Wow, she's writing like the original movie. Right there. That's something one of the original Bev or Ellie would say.
I mean, this person's favorite movies are The Doom Generation, The Innocent, Les Samurai, and Exiled 2006. So
what a weird list.
Yeah, these are choices to be your favorite movies for sure.
Not to blast random Angelica. But what a weird.
These are all those like, sexy and/or sexy noir style.
Like Samurai is that French one where he's just a hitman or something.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But yeah. Any other fun
ones?
Those
are the letterboxes. No.
Okay. Well, I think that'll be it for episode 5 of Reboot or Deboot. And join us next time in 2 weeks' time, or 2 weeks from whenever you're listening to this, for episode 6, where we tackle wages. Oh, sorry, did I write this right? Is it Wages of Fear?
I thought so.
My G and my E kind of blended together. Episode 6, Wages of Fear and Sorcerer. We'll check you next time, and until then, we're out of here.
Peace.
They're the worst.